Hey everyone, I wanted to create a video for week four, so for learning module four, just to give a bit of an overview because I feel like this is a chapter in a week that has a lot packed into it, uh, and just to bring up a few announcements. But before that, I wanted to address some of the discussion board reactions from week three. So overall, I really appreciated the conversations, the openness to the importance of dressing culture and having cultural competence. And I just wanted to throw out there, I think you all know this and are aware of this, and it seemed to kind of surface in various ways. But obviously, cultural competence of the counselor in addressing career issues, it's a process. It's not an event. It's not like we arrive and we're competent. It's this ever emerging, ever developing process, so it's a lot of the strategies that you brought up are just it needs to be cyclical, not just a few times throughout our career. It's constant that we're learning about ourselves, that we're learning about various groups we work with, we're learning about how to broach topics of culture with clients and how to do that in a sensitive yet honest manner. So just a few thoughts there. Uh, Specifically, some of you mentioned, well, you all mentioned different strategies because it was part of the prompt of how to enhance your cultural competence. A lot of you addressed how, it's important to be reflective of your own, cultural and core beliefs and values, which is absolutely true, absolutely important. I did want to like highlight that sometimes that was all that was stated, and it's not like you had to go in tons and tons of depth. But if we're just in a silo thinking about our beliefs, sometimes it's hard to have them enhanced and kind of expanded upon because we're almost just like we're in a box and it's hard to know how to branch out of that box. Sometimes reflection can kind of help us jump outside of our box, but we often need like other outer perspectives to kind of help us see the holes in our box and then to be able to expand it. It's almost like if you've heard of the Johari window, so the Johari window, it's this four stage or four box matrix where it states like what's known to us and what's known to others. So if something's known to us and known to others, then it's obviously in clear awareness. If something's known to us but not to others, it's almost like our secrets. If something's not known to us but known to others, then that's where they can kind of help us expand our window of awareness. And obviously, the hardest one to expand is when something's not our awareness or someone else's awareness about us. So, but often, we need other people to help us expand those blind spots. So, with that being said, absolutely, that reflection on values and beliefs is important, and it can usually be enhanced when you partner that with experiential learning opportunities. So for example, I went to like a Muslim student event when I was in the University of Wyoming, and that really kind of helped me better understand the Muslim student population that I was working with, and as well as even it doesn't have to be like formal events. It can just be a conversation too. I remember at Idaho State University when I was doing my master's there was a group on campus called the Genesis Project. So it was a project for folks in the LGBTQ plus population. So I went there and so we just have conversations about the resources that they provide, what their role is, how they see members of the LGBTQ population, uh, how they see their experience on campus. So it's just an important conversation to have and it's not saying I'm not saying you have to exactly do those things, but just something to engage with people around you can usually enhance that self reflection. Uh, so yeah, just a few thoughts there. Many of you mentioned that, but I just wanted to highlight that a bit more. Another thought about the discussion board that I really liked was that a lot of you talked about how it's important to understand the group norms, group cultural norms of various populations that we're working with, and that applies to every single client that comes in the door. They're all going to have these group norms and these group experiences that they're a part of. But then there's a lot of subgroup like anomalies or subgroup individual forms of expression. So we can't just assume, okay, I read a book about this, or lots of other clients have had this experience that were from a similar group, so it must apply to this person as well. I think it's usually important to almost be having this tentative assumption, but also being curious about unique individual experience. So it's like, okay, So maybe I guess what that looks like is if someone comes through the door, it's like, okay, I've worked with other clients who come from similar backgrounds and they had some really similar beliefs that could apply to this client, but this client could have a very unique expression too, unique experience. So we always need to like conscientiously be aware of that and not impose previous experiences on the client. I think that hopefully goes without too much, explanation, but I think it's important to just almost prepare ourselves. I have this previous experience and it could be helpful and it could be a helpful guide and a conceptual map for me in working with this client, but I still need to, you know, remember and hear out this unique individual because they might have a unique perception within that within group experience, within group cultural experience. So yeah, a long way to say group awareness is important, and then we need to figure out how the individual experiences their culture. All right. The last thing that I want to throw out there about the discussion board before I move on is the deeper and the more honestly we look at our own cultural experiences, makes it easier to address culture with our clients. And I think some of you hinted at that and addressed that, but I just wanted to jump on that bandwagon as well. That you know, however we're going about expanding our awareness of our core level traditions, our core level traditional beliefs, values, kind of dissecting where those come from. And I think sometimes then when we have more awareness, we can start to make more choices about culture instead of it just being this unknown, unspoken, implicit guide that's outside of our awareness. I think we can't fully come to full awareness of the influence of culture. I don't think, at least, but as we get a deeper awareness and a more honest reflection, I've seen how that can open us up to be more comfortable and competent in addressing other clients. So once again, another plug for that deeper reflection that we've talked about. Okay, I'm going to move on now to learning module 4. So week 4 and 5. I love the content in these modules. So I've actually created a lot of videos already. So we're covering career development theory. And career development theory is basically similar to counseling theories. It provides a conceptual map for like what's happening for clients. What are they experiencing as they're going through this life career journey of decision making, of crises, and working through those crises, working through these developmental tasks that lie before them. So the Tang text isn't as strong as previous texts that I've used on covering career development theory. It does okay, but I feel like it covers kind of the bare bones of the approaches that it addresses, which is usually helpful at this point, that we don't have to go into tons and tons of depth. But that's why I've created lots of videos in previous classes that I've linked in a folder. So recommended videos, that's the folder name in module 4. So I strongly recommend that you view those videos. There's quite a few, so I'm not saying you have to view all of them. Maybe it's just like, hey, this let's just say the social cognitive career theory didn't really make a lot of sense to me, so I want to understand it better. So you can watch that video portion that I have in that folder. Or I really like the idea of Holland's theory, so I want to learn more about that. So you can watch that video. So yeah, I give a lot of options. I'm not saying you have to watch them all. I think I had the 4 videos, but I do have a highly recommended video on Holland's theory, as well as the theory underlying the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. So the reason why that video can be really important is it'll help prepare you for your autobiography assignment of really understanding the core frameworks that undergird the strong interest inventory and the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. So strongly recommend you view those, as well as in another announcement, I have a video that shows how to interpret the MBTI and the strong interest inventory. So that'll help you when you take the MBTI and strong interest inventory and receive your results. You'll kind of know what to expect and how to make sense of the information. All right. Also for this week, this is a new thing that I've heard others do, but I haven't done it in this class yet. Is I'm going to make an optional a live discussion via Zoom for this week for week 4. Once again, you can absolutely just participate in the discussion board as you've been doing. That's totally fine. But if you want to just meet up live with me, I'm I can't have tons of different times out there. So this time I'm going to try to do this throughout the semester during different modules, have live conversations for those of you who can make it. So some of you might want to attend this and you won't be able to, like the time won't work, but I'll try to kind of switch it up throughout the term so there will be other times. For this week, though, it's going to be on Thursday, so September 12th from 3 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'll send out a Zoom link pretty soon for those of you who can make it, who want to make it. So basically, if you attend this optional live Zoom discussion of the Chapter 4 material, then you won't have to participate in the discussion board. You'll be able to receive the points just from participating in that live optional Zoom session to discuss the chapter. So that might mean that there's a few less people in the discussion board for this week, and that's totally fine. But I wanted to present that as an option just for those of you who kind of want to see face to face and talk face to face about it. So yeah, if no one shows up, that's fine. It's optional, but I have it on my schedule. I'll be there in the Zoom room. I'll send out that link by Monday for sure. So you'll have a few days to receive it up, or I'll send it out sooner in an announcement. But yeah, that live optional discussion option instead of the text-based typing option for the conversation this week is an option. Once again, that's September 12th from 3 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. I think that's everything for this video. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to those of you who can attend that discussion, that we can chat a little bit about the career development theories that surfaced, how they're resonating, or questions you might have, or whatever needs to surface up or from the conversation from the text. And yeah, looking forward to this week and next too, as we'll continue the theory exploration. All right. Thanks, everyone.